Hello everyone, myself Poonam Lade, and today I am going to start a topic of crisis management. Before going to a topic, I just want a relook on crisis. What is meant by crisis? Crisis means a situation before disaster, and it can be a man-made or it can be a natural. And how to manage this crisis in the organization, we will learn these things in this topic. Definition of crisis management. It has been defined as the technique of managing and facing the crisis situations. Crisis situations are those in the field of management, be it production, marketing, personal conflict resolutions, interpersonal situations, group dealings, etc., when decisions have to be taken without loss of time. In simple words, crises are the situations which can be managed or facing any crisis situation. It is a technique of managing these situations may be from production department, marketing, personal or impersonal conflicts between the employees or in between teams, group dealings, etc., which in which in this situation of crisis the decisions have to be taken and without any loss of time. There are some types of crisis management. There are some types of crisis management. First is natural disaster. Natural disaster is very common. It can be a earthquake, tsunami, flood, extra. And technological crisis. Technological crisis is due to the errors in the network, is due to the server damage or any other technological crisis. Confrontation. Confrontation is the crisis which happened due to the uh, miscommunications between the employees or in the team. Malviolence is due to the effect is due to the miscommunication of team or by making a criminal offense. Malviolence is like a criminal offense or destroying someone's property or destroying someone's organization. It is means of malviolence. Organizational misdeeds. It is the quick decision which has been taken by the entrepreneurs or by the team leaders with in which he or she knows that the some crisis can be happened in future, then also the decision has been taken which had made a loss or crisis in the organization. Workplace violence is very common due to the miscommunication between two teams or due to some targets. The workplace violence is also happens, and it further goes to the crisis. Rumors are about the management system, rumors about the organization. Terrorist attack and man-made disasters. Terrorist attacks also is a one type of crisis only. Reasons of crisis management: poor maintenance practices. If our maintenance has not been maintained properly in the organization, then also the crisis can be happened. Human error is a very common reason. Bad planning. Without planning, no organization can work. Planning is the main and base of the organization, and if the bad planning is happened, then the crisis is definitely going to be happen. Material failure. Inventory management is the basic part of the material failure. If the inventory has not done properly, then the material failure is going to happen, which leads to crisis. Unethical or dishonest behavior. If one of the employee also is not communicating properly or dishonestly behaving in the organization, then also it leads to crisis. Unresponsiveness culture. Someone is responsible for all designation. The designation is given in the organization on the basis of the responsibilities and rules which has to be followed by that person. If someone has not behaving in responsibility, then the crisis can be happened. Leadership failure. The team leader is also responsible if not behave properly or worked as per the norms. poor judgment, insufficient training. Training is the part of all organization. It is the basic part to train the employee to worker or accountant before sorry, just when they have joined in the organization. The training is the compulsory part of all companies. If the insufficient training was done and the employee has not know the work properly, then the crisis can happen further. These are all the reasons for crisis management. Crisis management cycle. In detail, you can see crisis management cycle. It is a pre-disaster situation in which, to minimize the impacts of future disaster, we can prevention is the main thing in pre-disaster. The decisions, if any decisions can be taken priorly, before it moves to the disaster, or before it moves to the crisis, the management can be done at this level only. Second part is preparedness. To managing the crisis, we have to prepare. We know that the crisis is happen and there will be a disaster, but mentally and economically the organization has to be prepared. Responsive. Responsive is to save the lives and minimize immediate impacts if the crisis or disaster is happened. The third step is to response. We have to save the lives of our employees in the organization, and to minimize the impacts whatever happened in the organization or crisis happened. So immediately we have to start the resolutions. Recovery. To restore activities and services. Recovery is the main part, so that the after post disaster recovery has been done in faster activities, so that the next cycle of our organization should be work properly. How many of ways of crisis management? There are the ways of crisis management which has been given in this image properly. Risk analysis. This is the checklist of crisis management plan. First of all is risk analysis. First we can outline the potential risk, whatever the risk can be happen due to any decision taken to the organization. Response procedure. When the how to identify the roles and responsibilities of each person, and uh, what things should be handled by that person is the response procedure. Activation protocol. To determine the action should be taken. Crisis happens, after that the activation protocol also starts. Communication strategy. Assessors who delivers the information to the public. The public, who are, if there is a big company, then the shares and the equities, whatever the things has been indulged in the management system. So the what the company or the organization have the thing to have a transparency and communication strategy with the public also. Emergency contacts. There should be an inclusion of emergency contacts to recover the stage rapidly. And last but not least is post crisis assessment. To follow up and assess what and went well and what didn't. Means what happened, when happened, and what to be done, and what should be the next cycle, is all the things is comes in post crisis assessment. What are the advantages of crisis management? Advantages and disadvantages of crisis management. First advantage is build your resources, identify more potential threats. Before going through crisis management, the advantages, the predetermined things was, you develop your resources of the organization. Second, we have gone through the threats, what is the strength and weakness of our organization. We make a effective communication culture in an organization or in a management system. The company roles and morals is also improves. We handle the disaster situation in very less times, and risk has been handled in potential time. And how should the plan can work, and how should the command has been given from whom to whom, is all decided priorly. If anything happens or if any crisis has been happened, this benefits has been these benefits are in the crisis management. The disadvantages of crisis management is collect information or data to failure. Our information or data what has been uploaded in our PC, so if there is any technical error, the all will be vanish. Command hierarchy structure. If there is a command hierarchy structure is not done properly, then also there is a disadvantages of crisis management. Inability to effectively communicate with outside community member. If outside community member is far, or we have not made a communication properly, then there will be a barriers between us. This also leads to a disadvantages of crisis management. Update and practice contingency plans. This is the failure of updating or contingency plans, which is the disadvantages of crisis management. There are there are many things which has been discussed in crisis management: how the crisis hits, how what are the reasons in it, what are the ways of it, and the best process or the cycle of crisis management has been done. I think so my video will be helpful for you, and thank you.